Hi guys, welcome back to my channel today. So in today's video we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful bubu that has this stylish neckline. It looks like an insert band, okay, but this is what the neckline looks like. Okay, so we're going to be learning how to make the whole of the bubu, including this neckline, and it has side pockets, right? This is one of the side pockets on one side of it, and this is the side pocket on the other side of it. Okay, and also the down part of it is a straight cut. It's not like the normal bubu, just like the one you're seeing on the top of the screen. The down part of it is straight. Like say pencil is not the right word. The down part of it is a straight cut. Okay, so you only have that a little bit bogusness at the upper region, the upper part of it. So if that's what you want to learn how to make, keep watching this video to the very end. Do not forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you'll be the very first person to know when I post new videos. So now I drafted a half scale block on a pattern, and then I went ahead to place it on the fabric. Okay, so what I cut out here, depending on your length, is 38 inches plus 28 inches. You can do the math. That's 1 yard and 28 inches. That's what I'm going to be using for the front. So I placed the half scale pattern like so at my center front, and I held it down using a scissors. The reason for this is so I can use this half scale to get that neckline. That was why I actually drafted the half scale in the first place. Okay, so now going in with my tape, I'm going ahead to mark. Firstly, starting from that very point of my half scale, the next thing that should go in is my hip line. So I've marked it, and after the hip line, I'll go ahead to mark my knee line, which is where the slit is going to be starting, and all the way I'll go ahead and mark the hemline. Okay, so having done that, now the next thing we are going to impute is the measurement. But before that, I went ahead to work on the sleeve area. I'm checking the length of my sleeve. Okay, so I used 14.5 inches, which is a little bit below the elbow, and I marked it down. Okay, I'm going to be using my long ruler to connect that line like so. Next thing, I'm going to be imputing my round sleeve measurement. Now you do not want a fitted round sleeve. Okay, so I added 2 inches. I think maximum you should add is 3 inches to your round sleeve measurement. So I added 3 inches to the round sleeve measurement. The design is not mine, so that was why I'm not putting it on. It's for a client. Okay, so I added round inches plus 2 inches, sorry, and after that I went ahead to make my hip line, the knee line to be visible, so I know where I'm going to be placing my tape to take my accurate measurements. So now I'm going ahead to take my accurate measurements, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and start marking them out. Okay, I'm going ahead now to start marking out my accurate measurement on the hip line, on the knee, of course. Whatever I use on the knee is what is going to go all the way down to the hem, so that you have that straight fit. Whatever it is that is on your knee line is what you're going to use all the way down to your hem, and is also your hip measurement. So your hip measurement is what is going to go down to the hem, so you have that straight fit. Okay, so I'm using my ruler now to connect the whole of these lines, the whole of the dotted or the broken lines together. Okay, and now this is what I'm doing right now, as you can see. So this is what the shape looks like. It looks as if here is wider, the hemline is wider. No, it's because of the way I faced my camera. Okay, so next thing we are going to do now is to join that very point of the round sleeve to where you want the bogusness of the upper region to stop. So I went in with my tape now to measure the part where I'm going to be fixing my pocket, because from the beginning of this video it has a side pocket. So now I'm going to be fixing the part where the side pocket will fall in. It's going to save me a whole lot of stress during my sewing. Okay, so I'm going ahead to be marking it out. I changed my hip line. Okay, I came down by 2 inches. I changed my hip line for my clients, please. Like I said, this dress belongs to a client. Now for the pocket, from the waistline of my client, I came down by 1.5 inches. You can use 1 inch, 1.5, or 2 inches. I came down by 1.5 inches. So that is where the pocket is going to start from. And from there, you decide anywhere around the hip region, 1 inch above the hip region, or on the hip region, or 2 inches above the hip region. That will be fine. Now, I'm going to be deciding where to stop that very kimono effect. Initially, I stopped at this part, but I found out that it was so high. So I'm going to be stopping at the exact point where the slit is going to begin. Or I'll go upwards by 2 inches, which is actually what I did. So I went upwards by 2 inches from my knee line, and that is where I'm going to be stopping the kimono effect, right? So this was what I did, and I went ahead to mark it out like so. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do want to subscribe. Click the bell notification icon so you'll be the very first to know when I post new videos on this channel. So now this is what it looks like. The next thing we are going to do is to work on that very design in front. From my under bust measurement, I want it to stop at the under bust measurement. I marked 1.5 inches. Remember, this 1.5 inches is on fold. So when you open up, you're going to be having 3 inches. So I marked 1.5 inches. And starting from my neckline, I'm going to be connecting it. The neckline should be on the basic 3 inches, please. 3 inches. So I'm connecting that 3 inches to the 1.5 inch mark, like so. We are going to be having a kind of shape that looks like this. Okay. So now I'm going to use my scissors to cut. So I haven't done that. I'm going to have to cut it out, and I'll go ahead to cut out the whole of this very particular design. Like, I'm going to be cutting out all the things we did. I'm going to be cutting out everything we've marked out with our chalk, okay, because that's what we're going to sew. So I'm going to have to cut it out. And also after cutting, I'll be marking the notches where necessary. Like I said, it's going to ease my sewing process because I don't have to use my tape to start measuring and all that. It's going to ease the sewing process. So once I see the notch, I know what this is for, what this stands for, and I'm going to be sewing straight away rather than coming back with my tape and trying to measure out again. This gown is actually very long, so I want to ease the stress as much as I can. So I'm going to have to cut it out right now. So yeah, this is what we came up with. Like, as you can see, I'm marking out the notch for where the pocket is going to start and where the pocket is going to stop, and also the notch for where the slit is going to start. Very necessary. And that is it for the front pattern, right? Let's head over to the back. Same thing I did for the front. I drafted a half scale block for the back, okay, and I'm going to be placing it like so. The same thing I told you, 1 yard and 1 yard and 28 inches that I used for the front. Same thing, 1 yard 28 inches for the back. And at the end of this tutorial, I found out that I had 2.5 inches left from the fabric, right? 2.5 inches left from the fabric, because it was a complete 6 yards. So the same procedure for the front is same procedure for the back. I'm going to be marking out my measurements, imputing where I need to use for my pocket, mark the notches, align the back and the front to see that they are together, like everything is in alignment. Same procedure, and just watch. That is what I'm going to be doing right here. So I've marked out my hip measurements. I'll go ahead to mark out my knee, and also my hemline. And then we also go ahead to impute the vertical. I always mistake these things, vertical, horizontal. I'm also imputing my round measurement, you guys, round measurement. So and I'm going to use my ruler to connect this point, everything like so. At this point, my eyes are weak because it's actually late in the night. And I just returned. I told you guys I'm very far away from my normal workspace. I'm actually undergoing my national use here. So I'm where I was posted. I did not redeploy. So hence, I'm working and I'm at the same time doing my sewing career. So you guys bear with me, okay? For the irregular posting and all that. So same procedure, that is what I'm doing right here now. Everything I did for the front, same procedure, except that the measurements, especially the round measurements, are not the same, but the same procedure. Everything is same. So I'm going ahead now to impute it. So here, this is me using the front to through the back, like to make sure that everything is in alignment, especially the sleeve area. I don't want a situation where one sleeve is going to be longer than the other. So I'm trying to through it to make sure that everything is in alignment. And of course, it came out fine. If you take your measurements accurately, everything is going to come out the same. And if there are going to be any adjustments, it's going to be so little. So here I'm doing the necessary things, which are same procedure like that of the front, please. So don't get it twisted. Do not let it confuse you. Same thing with the procedure for the front. Okay. So here is it now. So this is what the back looks like. Okay. And I'm also marking the notches for the back also. Yeah, so this is what the back looks like. Everything I'm showing you. And I'm also marking notches like I did for the front. Now this is that very particular design at the front, the neckline. So after we drafted it, this is what it looks like. And we'll head over to the sewing part. Now I made 2 of each of the pattern. Like I cut out 2 of each of the pattern, so I can use it to turn it over. Like, okay. I also ironed in a soft paper stay to kind of stabilize the fabric. You know, whenever you're doing anything that has to do with color, you should iron in paper stay. That's the paper stay at the back of it. Okay. Very light one, so as to stabilize the fabric. So I haven't ironed it out. I had to stitch it up at the center back neckline, right? Center back neckline. That's where you're going to be joining the together, right? And this is what it looks like. So I stitched it up at the center back neckline, as you can see. Okay, this very part where I did not turn over is where I'm going to be sewing to the fabric. That's why I'm going to be sewing to the main fabric. So I ironed it out. I gave it a nice press, and this is what it looks like, you guys. Now, having done this, the next thing we are going to do is to attach it to our fabric. But before we attach it, we have to join the front and back together. especially on the shoulder. So this is my front. I'm trying to check where is the back and where the front is. I didn't actually mark it with the chalk while I was cutting it out with the pattern, so you have to do that. Now I'm going ahead to join the back and the front on the shoulder, right side facing right side. I'm joining it out, the both on the shoulder all the way to the sleeve because it's a kimono. So having done that now, so after joining on the both sides, you're going to turn it over to the front. Like you're going to be turning it over to the front, okay? So after you've turned it over to the front, now you're going to get that neckline. And of course, we're going to be stitching down the very down part of it. Okay? We're going to be stitching down this part. I'm going to be stitching down this part like so, okay? So having done that now, I'm trying to check, make sure everything is in check. Now for the center front, that part of the main bodies, like of the BUBU itself, we are going to be marking the notch of the center, right? And then here also we are going to be marking the notch of the center. It's going to help us while sewing. Okay, so now center to center, we are going to be sewing, starting from that center. When you sew up until the point where it stops, you're going to lift your footer with your needle inside the fabric, then you turn it around. I hope that's understandable. Then you turn it around and you keep sewing till the center of the back neckline. You're going to keep sewing to the center of the back neckline like so. So let me show you guys, this is what it looks like. I haven't even given it a nice press, like it's coming out neat, especially at that part, it's coming out neat. So I'm going to be sewing the rest of the side and I'll show you guys what everything looks like. So now I'm done, okay, and you guys, this is what it looks like. Very neat. I haven't even pressed it out and it's looking very neat, all lapped, nothing is bulging out, everything is looking very okay. So the next thing we are going to do is to sew up the sides. Okay, you're going to be sewing up the whole of the sides before you will go back to your notch and attach the pocket from where the notch of the pocket started and where it stopped. And then we are going to attach the pocket right away in this video. So this is me holding the pocket area like so, okay, and I'm gonna have to place it on where we are going to sew. Also, I've gotten the other pocket also. I have 4 pieces of this. I'm going ahead to place it. Please watch carefully the way I am placing it, okay? Watch carefully the way I placed the second one like so. So we'll go ahead to sew it now, and the same thing applies to the other side of the pocket. A same procedure, right? So we'll go ahead to sew it now. And now you wonder, why did I stitch up the side? Where is the person going to put in her hands to get into the pocket? So now that I'm done, when I'm done stitching up the pocket like so, okay, sorry, this is the second pocket, the other one we stitched for the first one. So when I'm done stitching up the pocket like so, I'll go ahead to start opening up the stitches I made from that very point where the pocket started to where it stopped. I'll go ahead to open up the stitches I made, right? This is the easiest method that I use, and trust me, when you do same, it's going to be very easy for you. So this is the easiest method that I use to fix in my side invisible pockets. Right, is that what it is? Yeah, side pockets. Okay. So after loosening the whole thing, I'll go ahead now to start closing up the pocket itself. As you can see, I'm running a very tight stitch. Then I'll go ahead now and start closing up the pocket itself, right? I'm going ahead to close up the pocket itself. I'm going to have to close up the pocket itself like so. And also when I get to this point, which is the end part of the pocket, I'll go ahead to run a very tight stitch to connect it to the side seam of the BUBU itself. Same thing, same procedure for the other side of the pocket. And that is it for this very video. Alright. If you have any question, drop a comment in the comment section. But I believe this video is very much explanatory. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.